It is an add-on you often fall for. Buy a credit card and get free insurance. From Mediclaim to travel cover to accident policies. Sounds like a steal deal, doesn't it? Not exactly. When we dug deeper, we found that loopholes in the policy fine print, an over-aggressive marketing strategy, and a not-me attitude among credit card companies and insurers when claims land on their desk have left a long list of unhappy consumers. Welcome to Uncovered. Tripta lost her husband, flight officer Anil Shahani, in July 1999. Shahani was flying a Boeing 727 with Lufthansa when the plane crashed. 6 months later, when Tripta realized that her husband was covered for about 5 lakh rupees under a personal accident insurance policy offered by her husband's credit card, she filed a claim with Citibank.
I wrote to Citibank and they got back to me that nothing has to do with them, it has to do with New India Insurance. So I had to correspond with New India Insurance and they wrote me back that they are not liable for it, it's the bank who's liable for it. So both of them were putting on each other and stating that your husband doesn't come in under any policy and all that stuff.
New India Assurance refused Tripta's claim on the grounds that personal accident policies exclude cabin crew from the scope of the cover. But policy fine print and exclusions like this are often not made known to credit card holders like Tripta. Credit card companies say this is because when insurance policies are free add-ons with a credit card, individual card holders are not sent the policy terms and conditions. They are only sent when the policy is paid for.
My contention is this would amount to unfair trade practice because they should have given the exclusion clauses with the brochures of the amenities, or at least the policy terms could have been given to the person who's going to be beneficiary from a service provider of these amenities. Nothing. They suppress totally everything, put them in the dark. Only at the final stage when it comes to fulfillment of promises, the bank shy away and they make a football of a poor complainant and consumer between the insurance company and the bank.
Tripta has decided not to give up and has filed a case with the State Commission of the Consumer Court. While the decision on this 3-year-old case is awaited from the Consumer Court, Citibank admits they need to proactively communicate the features of the free add-ons to their customers.
I think it's a fair point that on free features on the card where somebody is not aware, maybe we should, as all the banks should in India, offer upfront the policy terms and conditions. But we have learned from that and we are on the paid features at least proactively communicating to ensure that such things don't, people are completely aware of what all they are covered under and what are the key exclusions. Claims decision, whether or not to pay the claim, rests with the insurance company and they take the final call in terms of whether the claim is valid or not. But we are more than happy, and I'm personally more than happy to look at any kind of complaint any card member of ours has regarding their claim and to kind of interject and talk to the insurance company and see what we can do.
Attracted by free add-ons, customers sign on the insurance contract. But in most cases like Tripta, the contract terms and conditions are rarely disclosed to them. In other words, they are not sent the detailed policy document that lists out the policy exclusions. So can credit card companies be held liable for suppression of facts? Is this a case of an unfair trade practice? Well, we've got two very eminent people here today with us. We've got Mr. Neil Chatterjee, who's regional head for corporate affairs with Standard Chartered, senior vice president there. And we've also got Mr. A. Ganesan, who's senior divisional manager with New India Assurance. How would you react to what you've just seen?
This is a policy exclusion. And normally all bank credit card companies, when they issue the credit cards to the customers, along with the credit cards they send a welcome pack. In that welcome pack itself, all the features of insurance policies are listed.
How long does it take for this welcome pack to reach the customer?
It goes along with the credit card. As and when the credit card is dispatched to the customer, it goes along with the welcome pack, it is a booklet which details all the various features available with the credit card. So this is sent to the customer, and as and when there is any change, material change in the policy terms and conditions, that is also communicated to the customer either by way of a separate letter, communication to the
So
customer.
you're disputing Tripta's contention
Yeah.
that she never ever got the welcome pack or whatever you call it. The details of the policy were never sent to her because she was a credit card holder first and an insurance policy holder second. You're disputing that.
No, her husband is a credit card holder, she is not the credit card holder.
Right. So her husband never got it. That's her claim.
So I am not disputing that she has not got or he has not got or
But
something
is it
like
sent?
that.
That's the point.
It is normally sent by the bank, credit card, Citibank or whatever, Standard Chartered Bank or
So
what.
that's the practice.
Yes,
That you do send it
yes.
to individuals even though they've been covered through the credit card.
No, we are not sending. It is not going from the insurance company. It goes from the credit card companies. That is Citibank or Standard Chartered
But
Bank.
these
Or,
exclusions really are yours, isn't it? You set them as an insurance company.
yes, yes. But we don't individually send to the credit card members.
But do you mandate the credit card company to send it to every customer?
It is an understanding. There is no written mandate that you should disclose all these facts to the customers and all that. It is a
Why is
market
that?
practice.
It's a very important issue, isn't it? Because
Yes.
tomorrow you are going to end up bearing the claim. So
Yes.
why don't you insist on this?
That we are nowadays we are taking it up in a very serious manner. That it should be communicated to all the credit card members upfront,
Right.
so that
Yes, please.
no issues are at a later date being raised on this account.
Mr. Chatterjee, even though this didn't pertain to your bank really, but tell me what's the picture here? In the sense you heard her saying that I was tossed around.
The big problem we are talking about here is that little bit you heard in that clip which says didn't read the fine print. And every time you see this didn't read the fine print, there's a kind of feeling which is conveyed is that purposely the insurance companies and the banks
Absolutely.
put this
Are
in
putting it
much
right at the bottom.
right at the bottom and probably in 3-point type which you need a microscope to
But do you agree
to
with
read.
that or not?
I do not. The whole idea.
Where do you put it up? In
We
your-
put it right up there. We in fact provide the policy.
Right. On September 11th, 2001, Indrani Vidyarthi and her son were on a British Airways flight to New York. But in the mayhem that followed, they lost their baggage. Her credit card company refused to compensate her baggage claim. Indrani chose to personally argue her case in the consumer court. What happened next? We'll tell you on Uncovered after this. When Indrani and her son's baggage didn't make it to Mumbai within 24 hours of them reaching home, Indrani thought the delay was only natural. After all, they were on a flight to New York from Mumbai on the ill-fated September 11th. All airlines had instances of delayed baggage. But when it didn't appear for over a week, it was time for Indrani to pull out the travel insurance policy that her credit card offered.
So I filed for my insurance claim from Standard Chartered, which said that if your bag has not arrived even after 48 hours of your arrival, you get $1,200. Now they differentiate this from this they call loss of baggage, and they differentiate this from delayed arrival of baggage, because for which they define as if your bag has not arrived after 3 hours, you can claim $300. So which means that between 3 hours and 48 hours is delayed arrival, and after 48 hours you can presume, even if you don't presume it's lost, it's called loss of baggage, just to differentiate the two terms.
Indrani returned the check. Technically, it was a case of lost baggage. She expected the insurance company to pay her $1,200.
It's all nice marketing, but at the end of the day, are you going to deliver? And you didn't deliver. And that was my entire case rested on that. You promised me something, you did not deliver. You made a false promise. That constitutes unfair trade practice and deficiency in service.
Well, strong words of disapproval there from a harassed customer, and we actually have her here with us today. Indrani, thank you very much for joining us. But before we speak to you, Mr. Chatterjee, you said that you do inform, in the welcome pack, there is this note which tells the policy holder about what the details are.
Right.
But do you send the policy itself?
This is a group cover. No, as I said, we don't send the policy. We give the highlights of the policy and exclusions, if any. In this case, there are no
Why don't you send a
exclusions.
detailed policy?
They're most welcome to ask for it because we find it inconvenient.
Would you tell them that they can ask for it?
Yes.
The
You
value
can get
pack
more-
says
yeah,
that you can ask.
for all the policies there, which whatever you're covered for.
Why is this not sent? Why are the policies not sent? Is there a practical problem? Is there a reason? Because
It's
you know,
a-
you talked of fine print and you
Yeah,
said that how
yeah.
consumers must be careful about reading the print.
Yeah, when you get group cover, which is the bank is buying the policy with an insurance company on behalf of all its customers, and therefore there is no specificity.
Right.
We put it down in part of the entire package which goes there. It is not the separate policy which comes from the insurance company.
Right.
When it's a special insurance cover, then the insurance company policy is enclosed with it. But all the relevant details are there. In fact, one of the allegations
said
of
the highlights are there.
Yeah, and the relevant details. There's no point. Highlights means the
So
relevant details.
highlights do not exclude all these smaller points. What you're saying, the highlights are as good enough as receiving the policy itself.
Should be. In
You're
this
not sure of
particular, no, it should be. I can't be sure of that. It's a 2001 case, so I don't know what.
No,
the
I'm not talking
policy-
about the case.
No,
I'm
no.
talking in general. Today,
no,
do you do
it
that?
is. It covers. It covers.
Today,
what-
the highlights
it
cover
covers everything.
everything the policy talks
Yeah,
about.
Yeah. And you have access to the real policy if you want. I mean, the actual.
But you have
from
to
the-
ask for it.
You have to ask for it, and
Isn't
that is mentioned there.
Isn't that a bit unfair, Mr. Ganeshan? As an insurance company, you are the one who's giving the cover. You just said that you are trying to insist on banks that they should disclose as much as possible. Why is it not being told to them? Why is the entire policy not being given to them?
See, Mr. Chatterjee said it is a group policy. This policy is being offered on an unnamed basis. We are not asking for the individual names of the credit card members to whom this policy is being issued. So the cover is given as a whole, as a group. And they say in the welcome pack, for details, please refer to master policy or whatever. So when the customer wants to go through the details, he can always call up either insurance company or the particular credit card company and ask for the details. And they usually provide either by
But
way
if the details are available, why aren't they just sent to the consumer?
No, see,
it would save a lot of problem, isn't it?
Correct.
Is there a difficulty
But
in doing that?
It is very difficult because sending these individual policy conditions to several million customers across the country by all credit card companies will amount to a lot of duplication because each customer will be having so many credit cards. He is not having only one credit card. And on average, he will be having 3 to 4 credit cards and
Those
with
would be very
different.
few. Most people have one.
No.
None like that.
No?
No.
That's not the case.
But that makes it simpler for you, isn't it? You just send one.
How can you, because see, each credit card company has got an arrangement with various insurance companies. So what happens if several mailers go to the consumer, at the end of the day he will be flooded with so much of mailers and ultimately it is not going to serve any purpose also.
Right. Let me bring Indrani here. What did the order say?
The order said that there was no case because $300 was what was owed to me for delayed baggage. And so since National Insurance had given me, had offered me $300, there was no case.
Mr. Chatterjee, you were just beginning to,
You have
reply on the
left out,
specific.
ma'am, if I may say so, one of the most critical players in this claim, and that is your airline. The airline obviously is not providing you that certificate because your baggage did go to you. Must be after 48 hours, probably much, much later. So the airline plays a critical role in that, which then allows the insurance company and the credit card issuer to take further action.
But are you saying, Mr. Chatterjee, that if the airline had actually given her a notice saying
Yes.
that we've delayed beyond 48 hours, it could have made her life much more simpler?
This 48
They did
hours.
give it to me.
No, no,
They
no.
gave it to you.
The 48 hours is a conditional one.
Right.
Under circumstances which prevailing.
Right.
Where the airline subsequently, with many other customers, have claimed that due to 9/11, they were in a situation where they were some baggages were completely lost and some they were able to recover, and they were unwilling to give a certificate of lost baggage. They have to give a certificate of lost baggage for it to be deemed lost. I think,
But it's 2 months
in this
enough
case-
time to call it lost? In her case, it came 2 months later.
The
No.
baggage did come back to you.
No, let me correct that. Number one, I was not asked to provide a certificate that the bag was totally lost. The National Insurance claim form clearly said, provide a certificate that the baggage was not found after 48 hours. When I asked them to show me the policy, it was a group policy, I went to the office. He said, sorry, it's
They
between me and,
outrightly rejected.
he said it's between us and Standard Chartered.
Is it now done? That it's
No,
a
the
practice that you have to share it?
Yes, the perception has changed. So we are also becoming more proactive nowadays and we are sharing with this information with the customers.
Did you go to a higher forum?
I am there now, yeah.
The matter is pending.
I've just filed, yes.
You've just filed?
Yes, yes.
for
I
the appeal.
intend to go right through as much as it takes because it's ridiculous, you know.
Let's come back to the point we started off with. She says the same thing. She went to Stan Chart. Stan Chart said, go to the insurance company. She went to the insurance company. Insurance company said, go to the bank. Why is this confusion there? I mean, why is this such a simple issue?
It's not a
being able to
simple
be
one.
resolved?
Obviously, the documentation is not complete. The baggage is not lost because the baggage has come back.
Okay.
It's a question of 48 hours versus 2 months or 3 months. Baggage is there intact. Goods are not lost. Insurance is usually on a common law basis. Insurance is recompense for goods lost or damaged. So the goods were not lost. That's been established. The maximum amount of delayed under the delayed clause of $300 was sanctioned. There is no way that an official either in the bank or in the insurance company can sanction the balance 900.
And a bank must reply,
Yeah, absolutely.
which unfortunately in your case didn't happen.
Months on end, not a letter. I wrote to customer service, nothing. And then on top of that, in the courts, no show.
Stan Chart didn't
Stan Chart
come.
didn't show. I mean, the arrogance of it, they just did not show.
Do you represent in courts today when you are taken by a consumer?
Our lawyers would come, depending on the gravity of the situation, sir.
99 they didn't.
It was a 2001 case or whenever the law happened. I don't know about that specific one.
You've made your point, Mr. Chatterjee, that I'm sure that you're going to go back and look at the systems to the specific case, as well as,
I mean,
certain
as
others.
any
It's a
service
learning
provider
curve, I would
does.
imagine. Any service provider would do. Thank you very much, Mr. Ganeshan, for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Chatterjee. And thank you very much, Indrani, for coming over. Not just the free add-ons, but paid insurance policies through credit cards too have their share of angry customers. We'll meet one when we come back. Stay with us on Uncovered. Unlike Tripta Shahani and Indrani, Kailash Mehta is a Diners Club card member who had paid for his Mediclaim cover that he had availed through his credit card. He and his wife are covered for up to 5 lakh rupees each, for which they pay an annual premium of 17,000 rupees. And they have been renewing this plan for over 8 years now. But this year, when the policy contract arrived, Mehta was in for a surprise. He was surprised to see that his policy had been stamped with sub-limits for each and every illness. When he wanted to clarify his policy conditions, Mehta complains that he was treated with disdain by both the credit card and the insurance company.
I went to New India at Chopati here in Bombay. The manager there, Mr. S.D. Bhosle, assistant manager, branch manager, is absolutely rude. He says, that's not my concern. This is my office, Madras is a different office, and they are not going to do anything for it unless I give it to them.
Mehta wanted to undergo a surgery for which Breach Candy Hospital gave him an estimate of 70,000 rupees. But when Mehta wrote to the third-party administrators for a pre-authorization of the medical bill amount, they refused the estimate, saying the limit for the surgery would only be 25,000 rupees.
All of a sudden to say that for a certain amount of illness I am going to be paid only that amount, which perhaps if I go to a smaller hospital or a second-rate hospital or even a government hospital, I am not prepared to go there. And Diners Club usually are people who want first-class service.
At 63, Kailash Mehta has no alternative. He can't change his Mediclaim insurer, as not too many insurance companies will agree to insure him now. Even if they do, the premiums will be exorbitant. Mr. Kailash Mehta has written in to thank us that with Uncovered following up on his case, his renewed policy from New India Assurance has doubled sublimits of various illnesses. And these sublimits now have a correlation to the total insured amount. We're glad we could help Mr. Mehta. The insurance regulator now insists that all policies get a free 14-day look-in period. If a policy holder like Mehta is unhappy with the fine print, he could get a refund of his premium. But very often, the contract details don't make it to the policy holder within 2 weeks. Often consumers end up going through much pain because they either do not make efforts to read the fine print or don't know how to go about fighting for their rights when they are wronged. On Uncovered, we will keep raising consumer grievances and help you know your rights better. Because we believe the truth must be told.